from the Back Channel Brewing tap room out here in, I guess, Spring Park. That still feels weird for me to say. I'm just going to say Mound, Lake Minnetonka, whatever you want to say.
Fair enough.
By the, sadly, tragically deceased Asian Bistro. Pour one out.
They are coming back.
This is news.
They're coming back. Yeah. It's like a partial, it's like a fusion, but there's some Asian Bistro mainstays on the menu.
Okay, then table that. This is going to be a way bigger news release when it comes out.
You already derailed the show.
No, this is incredible. All right.
Being the true Moundite that Scott is, it was heartbreaking for him to have the Asian Bistro not in operation for the past few months. It's really taken a piece out of his soul.
Yeah, I know.
Back channel trips haven't been as enjoyable.
That's not true.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Because that's not part of the back channel trip. That's like my side
it's a
trip.
Bonus.
It's adjacent.
It's part of the
experience. Back channel adjacent. Yeah. But
we get a lot of nods for our food trucks, but we do have a hidden gem right in the same parking lot in the form of Asian Bistro.
The one that I got to pump the tires of. Granted, I'd love it if they just come with more food right away. But locals crushing the breakfast burrito game. Like I literally, if I'm running late because of the kid, which is a new problem for me this year, if we're coming out for Ultimate Viking Game Day experience, I literally have to call ahead to someone that's here, be like, yo, put in my burrito order. I can't let them run out.
Yep. The burrito game is strong.
So strong. But okay, now that we're only kind of derailed, again, here at the Back Channel Brewing tap room with our good friend, mainstay of the show, Josh. What's going on, buddy?
Well, happy to be here. This is it's been a while. It feels like it's been a while. You know, the nature of time, it flies by.
Yeah.
And it was good. I feel good that we're able to get this on the schedule here. The very beginning of hockey season, at the transition of summer to fall, so that we can set the tone for our wonderful allotment of shows in 2024, 2025.
That's right. Kicking it off strong. What we've got here today, next installment of the Flight series. We're going to go through 4 unique beers here to give you the full spread of what Back Channel has to offer. And coinciding with each beer, we're going to talk about, hey, if things go badly, if Kaprizov decides he's not going to sign this coming summer when he's available to do so, team's going to have no choice but to trade him. And whether or not he signs with the team that we trade him to, who knows? But we're going to talk about the doomsday scenarios for landing spots that Kirill Kaprizov could end up in. So let's start here. Josh, talk to us about the first beer we're drinking here.
First beer on here is one of 2 October. Well, I guess one of 3 Oktoberfest styles. When I think of Oktoberfest styles, I think of a Märzen and I think of a Festbier. Hammy right here is a delicious Festbier, clocking in at 6%. Little malty richness, doughy, smooth flavor profile. Very delicious. We also have a Munich Helles that we like to have on tap, but we brew that a little bit before the Festbiers, because Festbiers and Märzens, that's what you're thinking. An old UVGE mug right here. I've got the Märzen because I cannot.
Oh baby!
I cannot decide which one I like better, so I have both.
Love that.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's perfect advertisement. Actually, when you come here, you have to have both because you won't know which one you like better.
That's right. The Hammy. Here we are, and I think you nailed it there. Where like this is such an easy sipper. Would never think that this is 6%. And for me, it's got like just enough of that malty characteristic where like. I'm not going to sit here and throw back 4 or 5 of them, but I'm definitely going to have more than one. Like it's in that happy middle ground where it's got enough of that malt, but it's not like crushing it either.
See, for me, like I could crush this over and over and over again. I like how there's a lot of flavor.
This size, to be clear, yes, I could. I'm going 2 or 3 of these standard pour.
I think it's not like not that Scott said it was too much at all, but like I like that all that flavor and how easy drinking it is as well. So this is tremendous. I definitely could just sit here and crush them over and over again. Maybe back and forth though, because they're both good. Come get them both.
Oh, the Ray Allen tweet.
That's why we have 2 hands.
That is why we have 2 hands. We do have mic stands too, so we didn't actually think this through.
Ooh.
Especially for John.
Nice.
Nah.
But yeah,
This way people have to keep the mic. They have to be conscious of where it is relative to their mouth. We've had issues where people are. So
it is a very, it's, you know, it's smooth. It's not heavy like some people perceive beer at times, and that really goes with all of our beers. We take pride in the necessary process to produce a good, clean, consistent beer, and it's not going to have there's not going to be a process that's off, and it's going to be a delicious beer. Not going to taste heavy, not going to give you any sort of mouth feel that is undesirable. So cheers,
boys. So then round one of Doomsday Destinations for Kirill Kaprizov. We got to go with the one that's top of mind for everybody right now after the nonsense of Mark Lazarus mixing up his words, saying that Kirill Kaprizov wants to go to Chicago when really it's that Chicago will be pursuing him and would love to have him. Those are the same thing, right? I mean, if, you know, I'm pretty sure the Wild are going to pursue Bedard if he's available. Does that mean Bedard wants to come here? Some say it's so. But Chicago, a lot of fans came out and they're like, why would he ever go to Chicago? They suck. They've been bad. Yeah. Do you see the framework of what they're building there? The prospect pool is ripe. He would go in and immediately play with Connor Bedard, who is the next one. And it's a great city. Like, I personally hate Chicago. I could go there for a fun, like, 4-day weekend. I don't want to live there. But, like, that is a big city that is going to attract a guy like Kaprizov, who has said he loves big cities. So I can understand where that would be a plausible destination if he's not going to stay. And I got to imagine that's got to be the 101 for draft picks of places that fans would lose their absolute marbles if he ended up there.
Yeah, because it's realistic to, unlike New York, which isn't right now really realistic at all, whether trade or free agency. So yeah, I would say that Chicago would be the one that definitely fans would be most upset about in a realistic scenario where he could be there.
Yeah, I mean, it's desirable from a large city standpoint, and that is kind of, you know, like you said, Kaprizov enjoys that. He lives in Moscow, if I'm not mistaken, when he's not playing. So Moscow's pretty massive last time I checked. And it might be a thing where
I might have to fact check you on that one. I don't know.
Yeah.
But how many years does he have to, but here's the key thing though. How many years does he have to still wait in Chicago for them to be competitive versus Minnesota, which is, you know, we're very close to this team being able to pop if the management performs the right moves, performs accordingly.
I think the question is, can the Wild be that? Whereas the Blackhawks at least can pitch him on that future with the cornerstones they've got down the middle. Minnesota, I'm not saying that I don't think that they can do that, but I think that would be the skepticism that maybe Kaprizov would have, right? What is the future aside from him? Like, we know the blue line's going to be solid. Wallstedt's the future in net, but who is he going to be playing with? He won't probably know that by next summer because the guys he's going to be playing with this year likely aren't here once his contract is in the works.
Unless Yurov can come over right at the end of the year and they become best friends and you're the new Zuccarello.
But timing Blackhawks, I would think playoff team if he goes there within a year or two.
Is that too long though? Is that too long?
Depends on how much money.
He can go over there, get used to it for a year, and they could have 4 incredibly successful seasons though.
Yeah.
And then that's a career right there in a sense, right? Like,
yeah,
we don't have that star power and that electric effect that a city like Chicago has. So if you insert a player like Kaprizov in a scenario with Bedard, yeah, I mean, it could be something where it's just like, gosh, that sounds pretty appealing and it would change my life. And then all of a sudden I can go and just skate off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Original 6.
Let's just pray that doesn't come to fruition, and everyone rest assured, nothing in the works right now of Kaprizov expressing interest in going to Chicago. But Doomsday meter, it's feasible, and fans would lose their minds. So had to lead off with that one. But let's kick it over to the next beer. All right, beer number 2, Josh. What do we got?
Well, this one came out right around the time when THC became legalized and we started selling THC seltzers in the form of Green Party. Green Party, our first one had some dark fruits in there, but we settled into a different flavor combo, which was mango, pineapple, tangerine, and everybody fell in love with it. Not to say that our first one wasn't
delicious.
People didn't fall in love with that one too, but
we actually have a video on this channel of us trying the first one, and then we did a podcast after we tried it.
That is linked here.
Nice. Well, gosh, that was Anyway, this is a mango, pineapple, tangerine. This is the beer version of our main THC. Oh, it's gonna cheers you. The beer version of our main THC seltzer. This one's called Ball Return.
Ooh, okay.
Whoa. That is a mango in a glass.
Little mango bomb. Very mimosa-esque.
Yeah, that is probably where I was going to lead with it. Very mimosa-esque, strong mango, and then at the end, as I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, there's the pineapple.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Citrus, mango, and pineapple.
Yeah, for those of you that like the fruit beers, like sour or otherwise, big yes. Big yes.
I love mango, so how pronounced that is right in the middle is so good.
And we reuse real fruit in our sours as well as the Empress. Empress is kind of the main fruited beer stay.
My wife is a big supporter of the Empress.
We rotate flavors with every batch, and people blindly order it. Does not matter what flavor combo it is. It's
you have it
Empress.
year round, right? You have it up year round. Just
sometimes it's gone, and that's just.
I thought you were going to say sometimes it's year round. I was
no,
like,
sometimes it's not on the tap room, and that's just because we have to focus on production, and sometimes we get just slammed and it doesn't align.
But for the most part, you have a variation
to always have the Empress on tap, as well as an example of a fruited Berliner. Ball Return being that in this glass right here. So we also have Justice Page. We're on the back end of that, but people get angry when there's not an Empress or a fruited sour on. So we do our best to try to keep them on tap. We don't want to overload the tap list with it. So again, it's that fine production schedule balance, but we hear you and we always want to have it on.
Love it.
Our focus today is men who have had unsuccessful plastic surgery. Enter Peach's All-American Sweepstakes with a grocery purchase of $50 or more.
Might as well just get this bowl.
Tickets to our nation's first
Doomsday Destination number 2. Isha, where would be a horrible but realistic landing spot for Kirill Kaprizov?
I'm going to say the LA Kings.
Spicy.
And I say that because they have realistic pieces that they can move in either before they sign him or in a trade to acquire him. And they're pieces that pretty much the Minnesota Wild or any team that would be acquiring pieces by giving up a big player would want from them. They have really good prospects. They have really good guys on their roster right now in their prime. They also have guys familiar with Minnesota. So how about the return of Kevin Fiala with assets? We already know he's a goal scorer. We already know he's going to get 30, 40, and you get some assets, some maybe young players, draft picks.
A reverse trade.
In addition to that, Brock Faber was an
Wow.
LA Kings draft pick. I'm just saying it's already worked out once.
You know, what's interesting to me is, historically speaking, if you look at the Wild's trade to acquire, whether you want to call it Ogren or Urov plus Faber for Fiala, great win. You look at the deal where they got Dubois from Winnipeg. Winnipeg absolutely bent them over the barrel. We can probably, this might be the only destination where we could win a Kaprizov trade, because like, you don't usually win a trade where you send off a superstar. We might be able to win this one and bring back a player that fans lost their minds over us losing. That's actually interesting, especially because like, I think Kaprizov would be okay living in LA. I think that fits. And they do have a lot of
superstars are down to go to New York or LA anytime.
Long term playing with Byfield.
They will go.
That's what I'm saying too. Byfield's incredible.
LA just has a track record of success too. You know, talk about a team that'll, you know, have the ebb and flow of success, and then a little retool, and then success, and then a retool, and man, they do it.
And they've been able to bring guys in who were like superstars on their team before, and they'll come in most of the time towards the end of their career, or like right the final stages of their prime, but they'll come in at like a value where the Kings can actually fit them under the cap and actually build a team using them, because like you said, it's kind of a proven concept now. Now in recent years, no, but in recent years, I think a lot of people wrote off the Kings, and they actually had competitive seasons while still acquiring younger players and building through the draft.
Teaser, I'm writing them off this year. But you know what? It's funny though, because this is doomsday in the sense of like, Wild fans hate LA right now. And
or do they just hate Drew?
No.
Do they just hate Drew?
It would break their brains to have Doughty and Kaprizov on the same team. Like, they wouldn't be able to process that.
Drew
In
Doughty
fact, Doughty would probably hurt him in warmups.
Drew Doughty, his whole reason to exist is to disrupt the Wild and their success.
At least he has a purpose, right? So
there ain't no Drew Doughty about it.
That makes it a doomsday. Fans would be pissed, but like, this is actually a fun one you concocted, Isha, where I actually think this could work out in the Wild's favor if it came to fruition on like an actual deal being consummated. That could be fun. So doomsday, fans would riot because of the destination alone, but when they saw the return, they like, after a couple months, they'd be like, huh, you know what? This isn't so bad.
Because the sweeteners and the additions to the Fiala might not even just be like draft picks at that point. It might actually be like, there's another piece that they need. We want that roster player too. And they're like, done. Take it. We're getting Kaprizov, so take what you want, plus our Fiala goal scorer, which you gave us prior. Thank you.
And
I like it.
A lot more cap space to work with if that happens too, because Fiala's deal is probably half of what Kaprizov is going to make.
And he might score just as many goals.
I'm talking myself into this. This could be fun. I want
more.
Kaprizov to stay. Let's be clear. But if he doesn't want to sign next summer, we better be calling Rob
Fiala's cold-blooded around the net,
we better be calling Rob
Robbie's just pumped because he has a Fiala jersey, brand new, that he hasn't been able to wear yet.
This is
brand new.
That needs to be corrected, because that is aggressively false.
Yeah, you walked in with it today.
My wife has a Fiala jersey that I made for her custom after he had already been traded, because she wanted a Wild jersey, and I said, what do you want? She's like, well, I don't know. What do I do with Fiala gone? Because, you know, one of few people that I have no problem with my wife saying is, you know, a dreamboat, because he is objectively a very attractive man. So I told her, I'm like, I can make that custom. She's like, is that weird? I'm like, no, I think that's awesome.
That's
like,
wild.
Okay, doing it. Yeah, not weird. Wild. All right.
Minnesota Wild.
On to beer number 3. All right, Josh, what's up here with this third beer?
All right. Well, we like to cover the spectrum here. We've gone lager, we've gone fruited. Now we're going hoppy, and we are diving into Bladerade. Bladerade, which is a New England pale ale, but gives you all the flavor of a New England IPA. And this was the first, I guess, technical non-IPA that we deemed bowl-worthy. I would have a bowl right now, but we are a week after the release. So being true to our form, we only celebrate the release of a fresh hoppy beverage. So yeah, we got notes of pineapple, passion fruit, coconut, super juicy, delicious flavor.
Delightful.
You can have a good amount of them, and not feel as bad.
I was gonna say it's like everything that you'd get in a hazy IPA, except you can have more of them.
Yeah, it's only 5.25%. So I mean,
because this is
you just bought yourself a free beer.
Tell me the flavors again.
Pineapple, passion fruit, coconut.
I'm getting a little bit of a hint of melon. Maybe that's in my head.
Yeah, it's a fruit bowl.
It is a fruit bowl, but it delightful, and it's like, I don't know. Sometimes people give this a negative connotation, but I don't think it should be negative. There's like a little bit of a mouthfeel to it that kind of comes through. Like it just hits a little bit different.
Oh yeah, and I think
Especially for
that's the lighter ABV that you're kind of getting. But man, yeah, it is full flavored,
bright.
You're getting a lot of that melt. Like sometimes, like our IPAs, which we brew a lot of them. But when they're super fresh,
you
get that wonderful, it's just almost like a melon cotton candy IPA freshness that you're getting off it. It's so good.
Approved.
Yeah. Bladerade. Want to do special cheers. We just had a Bladerade event in honor of the guy that really helped make Bladerade what it is. We brew a lot of beers, and sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. This is originally brewed after the founder of rollerblades, but we created this event called the Bladerade Skate Jam with a gentleman named Mike Loveholm from Minneapolis. I always read the newspaper. I always find great stuff in there, and there was an article about the Minneapolis Friday Night Skate Group. It's just a group of people that would skate through the city of Minneapolis on Friday nights. And I saw it in the paper. I was like, that's super cool. I should reach out to them and see if they want to get involved in this Bladerade release. And this is in 2020. And Mike was like, absolutely. And Mike doesn't drink alcohol, but he wanted to team up with the brewery and create this event. And this event is now 5 years running, and going forward, it's going to be a benefit for Mike because Mike passed away during the North Shore Inline Marathon in September. So Bladerade has a little bit of an extra special meaning this time around, and it's kind of serendipitous that we didn't get it out when we normally do, which is usually July for the Bladerade Skate Jam, and that it's out to now honor Mike. So if you're able to drink Bladerade, give a little extra cheers for the man, the myth, the money Mike Loveholm.
Doomsday Destination number 3 for Kirill Kaprizov. Josh, what do you got for us? Ominous.
Las Vegas.
Oh, damn.
That's right. The Golden Knights.
Oh, but they don't have room to bring in another player.
They will figure it out. They're in the land of magic. They perform magic tricks in the form of performances, contracts, you name it. Move over Tampa Bay Lightning. We have the Las Vegas Knights.
Seriously, like they've literally every time they've brought in a big player, everyone's like, Vegas couldn't pull it off, and they take it as a challenge.
Just be like, hey, Mark Stone, how's your knee? Oh, I'm feeling pretty good. No, it's not. No, it's not. We're gonna have to put you on long-term IR over here.
They're going to petition the NHL to have more LTIR slots.
Magicians, man. I tell you, the magicians and...
Stone, they had no room for him. Pacioretty, they had no room for him. Eichel, they had no room for him. I mean...
Pietrangelo,
no room for him. Like, the list goes on.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, they're going to make some room for Kirill.
Oh, no. But is Vegas the big city that Kirill wants to go to?
There's lots of lights.
Russians love lights.
Yeah, he love lights. Love lights.
Everyone knows Russians love lights.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
he's said it before. He loves golden light.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
but does he love Golden Knights?
He's gonna just fall in love with the strip, and he's gonna be walking around with the fur coat, a la Ric Flair.
I mean, that doesn't sound Kaprizov at all.
He's gonna just fall in love with it. It's
Vegas changes people.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know, Isha. You went to Henderson.
He's Kirill the Thrill. He's gonna have his own show. He's gonna have might have his own
You know what? I
casino.
take issue with that though. Until he's officially retired, Phil is the Thrill. He has 3 Stanley Cups.
When
How
is
many
Phil
does
going to
Kirill
be a part of the National Hot Dog Eating Contest?
I would imagine the second he retires.
I just say a part,
he does,
right? Not necessarily
do you
contestant.
know what the ratings would be like if he joined?
If he just stepped up there and just like even ate a hot dog slowly,
It's
it
like,
would be
so
the
Phil,
best.
what was your training regimen for this? He's like, I signed up and I showed up. What are you talking about?
Training?
Yeah.
Hey, he could also just like show a video of him going bar down and like intimidate the hell out of the other competitors with his.
Tell you what, you think my credentials
Pro
are
Lab.
lacking? Just go hit up all of the vendors in the greater Toronto area.
Well, I'm pretty sure the OUTTRO needs a new star now that, Joey Chestnut's part of the Netflix community.
Well, that's because they screwed him over.
I'm just saying.
But
They just needed more drama, and you weren't going to get it with a legend like Chestnut because he's just going to crush.
Man. All right, so we've completely derailed this because we're talking about hot dog contests, Phil Kessel, but fans would definitely be upset if Kaprizov ended up in Vegas, and not just Minnesota fans, but league-wide.
Every year, the Wild made the
fans would be
playoffs.
supported.
Guarantee we would play against the Vegas Knights as well if Kaprizov was there.
Pete Blackburn would even come out and be like, yeah, you know what? I think the Wild are getting a raw deal here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would.
He's going to do so well there that Kaprizov's going to have his own jersey number in Vegas, but they're going to retire his Minnesota Wild jersey in the rafters for Vegas.
Someone's going to go up and just spray paint a 7 after the Koivu 9.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Sorry, Wild fans that love Koivu. Man,
Miko.
And sorry for the horrible vision of Vegas wearing that disgusting yellow jersey. I think that's such a bad jersey. Their blacks and whites are fine.
I like mustard.
I like it on my hot dog.
Not on my jersey.
I like the mustard tiger in Nashville.
What does that even mean?
It's more like a tiger. It's more yellow.
Trailer Park Boys reference.
Oh.
What about you, Four Eyes?
Did you just call me Four Eyes?
Well, I just met it.
Big mustard tiger?
My sons and the Dirty Burgers all I got. Fuck them.
Yeah,
well
mustard
played.
tiger.
Go back to
Well
Canada.
played.
A mustard tiger there, Rick.
I need to brush up on my Trailer Park
Jalapeno?
Boys.
Jalapeno.
It's been too long.
Jalapeno, not jalapeno.
What in the fuck are you guys talking about?
Jalapeno. That's how you pronounce it.
I know how to pronounce it. I ordered fucking jalapeno.
Too long.
All right. Well, yeah, there's nightmare fuel for everybody.
Oh.
Let's move on to beer number 4. All right. Numero quattro. Josh, what delicacy have you poured here for us?
Well,
Oh, my God.
finishing the spectrum.
3 smells.
Light, fruity, hoppy, and dark.
Oh, dear Lord.
We've got Count Control clocking in at 14.5%. This was our anniversary beer. Its release garnered it the 6th highest beer rating of the week, according to Top Beer Drops on Instagram. So Top Beer Drops is a cool account you should follow.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
They're always highlighting the best beers of the week from around the country. And this Imperial Stout with peanut butter, marshmallow, and coconut seemed to do the trick. So yeah, right here I've got pour myself a cold version because I haven't had a chance to drink as much of this as I'd like. So I've got my version that I've sat here before.
God.
I got my room temperature. I got my cold temperature. I've got the full spectrum. A lot of times with these Imperial Stouts, you're going to want it to warm up to room temperature. But again, because I haven't had it as much as I would have liked, I'm going with the cold. I'm going with the warm. I want it all.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, this is right in the wheelhouse of what I love in beers.
And I would say this is like my favorite style of beer now. And when I moved to Minnesota, that wasn't the case.
I was gonna say that was not your original.
And
vibe.
now it's
Minnesota does stouts right. We know how to do them right. Where it's like,
it's what I look forward to the most when I come to Back Channel. And this is from a place that does amazing IPAs as well, right? Like when we tease that in some segments prior to this. But what you guys do with your barrel age it's next level. And my God.
Well, this is
and your Imperial
barrel
Stout,
aged.
and your Imperial
yeah,
Stout.
I mean, yeah. Well, thank you.
Isha, come on now. You got to know the beer.
Well, I mean, it's going to be it's so delectable that you would think it's barrel aged in a sense. But we will have a slew of barrel aged beers coming out before the end of the year. We've got a couple versions of Soviet Slayer in November. And then you should really mark your calendars for the winter solstice, the darkest day of the year. That's all I'm going to say for now. All right.
So
darkest day of the year,
mark
darkest day of the
your
year.
calendar.
So the saddest day of the year is going to be
Happy. When is the winter solstice, by the way?
I want to say it's
With this
December
beer release.
21st. So
You're really putting me in danger zone with that one.
it's going to
really
be
close to the wife's birthday.
Yeah, no, it's something that you're going to want to be here for.
It's going to have to happen now. All right.
It's stout season. That's all I got to say.
I have had a number that I'm not comfortable disclosing of different styles of beer here at Back Channel. This is easily a top 3 for me.
There it is.
And that's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
It's
That's
so
right.
good.
Count control.
Anyone that, again, I know everyone's going to have their different styles. Some people love or hate sours. Some people love or hate IPAs. Some people love or hate stouts. This is one that, again, if you're not a stout person, have a sample, see how you feel, but it's just such an approachable beer for how strong it is. The flavors are so great. If you like any of the flavors named, none of them smack you in the face, but they all just work together cohesively. And I'm a big fan of all of those. I've actually never done peanut butter and coconut together, and it works really good here. I've had coconut and marshmallow. I've had peanut butter and marshmallow, but I've never had peanut butter coconut overlap.
That was I'm into health and wellness, and one of my favorite little
14.5% beers is the health and wellness move.
Balance. I preach balance. I preach balance, my friend.
That's better.
But there's a peanut butter coconut perfect bar that exists. A perfect bar is a delicious, healthy protein bar, and I was like, damn, peanut butter and coconut. This is what's up. This is
Sounds
good.
pretty perfect.
And so then I, trial and error here and there, a few other things, and it confirmed that peanut butter and coconut go well together. Throw a little marshmallow in there, and you got yourself mouthfeel for days.
Oh, it's so good.
Kudos to Mark on this. This is all obviously Mark, who's not here.
Mark's the man.
Hey, shout out to Mark.
It.
We miss you, Mark.
Stout game.
Amazing.
We sit up there. We still have the one time that we entered an Imperial Stout in the Minnesota Brewers Cup. We took first place, and Stout game. Stout game's on point.
This beer, get out here for count control before it's gone. If you're a stout
It's getting
person,
close.
or if you're stout curious and want to just have a little dabble and see if it's maybe your speed, get after it. But speaking of perfect earlier, Josh.
Oh no.
The perfect storm of chaos for Minnesota Wild fans.
Here it comes.
Doomsday Destination number 4 for Kirill Kaprizov
Here it
to
comes.
land. Let's just paint a little picture here. There's a team that we've got a little bit of a built-up rivalry with. Perhaps the playoff series have gotten aggressive between players, between coaches. We've had shared players. In fact, both of us will be paying that unnamed player to play for a different team in the same division this year. If you haven't picked up on it yet, it's the team that used to be our team.
Alas,
We all hate
Dallas.
the Dallas Stars. This makes so much sense.
It makes so much sense. It hurts. Which is,
It's not great because
this is where he's going.
Let's look at the team, right? This is a team that is a contender for the foreseeable future, unless something crazy happens. Like, they have the framework of contending for a long time. And weird, they have some aging players on big contracts that are going to coincide with Kaprizov looking for his next big deal. As soon as Ben is off the books, we've got Sagan coming off shortly after that. Wowza, there's cap space. And, they need to pay their young guys. Guess what? I don't care how those young guys turn out. None of them are going to be Kirill Kaprizov. And nothing beyond the fact that, of course, Wild fans passionately hate the Dallas Stars, which sucks because from an objective standpoint, God, they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
Wild fans hate them. Nothing would make them more angry than Kirill Kaprizov playing the opposite wing of one Robertson, who stole one vote for Calder. One vote for first place in Calder that fans will never forgive.
Shiesty.
I don't know, boys. Rate it. Is it conceivable? And do you think it's rank the 4 now that we've gone through all 4? What's the order of pain for doomsday scenarios?
Dallas, Chicago, LA, Vegas.
I'm close to you. I'm a little different. Josh, what's yours?
I'm gonna go. I can agree with Dallas because you don't want him to play for our former team. We've already have
still
enough.
In green, just a different shade.
Yeah, the probably adopted version of our special version that's even cooler. And then he would wear that, and
he wins the cup the year that he goes there.
Yeah,
that would be
totally
bad.
say that. Yeah, Dallas, that would be no good. I would say Chicago, Vegas, LA. Then
all right.
Okay,
that's gonna round it out for me.
I'm more with Josh, but I might flip both of Isha's. Dallas would have the immediacy, he would go there and they would probably win a cup that year. But goddamn, the passionate hate for Chicago, not only in hockey, but across all sports. And that goddamn unbearable goal song. If I have to hear that played after a Kirill Kaprizov goal, that might be the end of it. I might be done.
Bro, as a Canucks fan who then moved to Minnesota, Chelsea Dagger gives me nightmares to this day. I hate it.
It's a horrible song.
It's terrible. I hate it. So I'm going 1A, 1B, Chicago, then Dallas, then Vegas, then LA. And I only go in that order because, again, I think we could potentially win an LA trade and make it feel better. And, I don't know, but then there's the argument that Vegas, we'd have the whole league supporting our hatred of them. So that'd be kind of fun too. But I'm going Chicago, Dallas, Vegas, LA.
All right.
But we're all in a pretty similar mind space here. All of them would be horrible. We hope that Craig Leopold's blank check offering to Kaprizov is good enough to keep him here. Let's just pray that this season doesn't go off the rails enough that Kirill has no choice but to explore his options.
He ain't Gabrick. He's going to recognize that being a legend for an NHL franchise is worth something in itself, even if it's... And he's going to make $12 to $13 million. So that shit...
You think he's staying in Minnesota for 12 or 13? That's cute.
He's going to make $14 million.
I think that's the starting point.
He's going to own
after a
two of the biggest legs. He might even own Minnetonka by the time this podcast and
not
video
Minnetonka,
drops.
That doesn't do much fun. Lake Minnetonka.
Lake Minnetonka. Sorry.
Kaprizov Bay would be fun. Kaprizov Island. But Isha, he is going to get ridiculous money to stay here. He, combined with looking at what Draisaitl just got, and I don't care. He isn't as good as Draisaitl. That's okay to say.
Different players,
it doesn't mean
different
that he's
players.
not more important to his team.
No, he is
more important to the team.
He is more important.
He knows that's the case, and the cap is going to jump again before he's available to sign that extension this coming summer. No, it's projected to go up to 92 and a half.
It's been projected to go up for a long time.
As long as there's not another COVID outbreak, we're okay. But for real, I think Kirill is going to do well. It's going to be interesting to see what he wants to do, right? Does he go the Sidney Crosby path where he takes a little bit less than he could because he wants to build a contender around him? I think that's the conversation. If you're Bill Guerin, you have to go to him and be like,
what do you want?
Kirill,
what do you want?
You write the number, but just know that a higher number means I can't pay other people. If that's what you choose, I'm okay with it. Pick your number. Go.
Yeah.
As long as it's for 8 years, pick a number.
Yeah.
What if you want the Sidney Crosby 9.7 million? Would he immediately be Minnesota's greatest son in athletics?
Statue built right after.
Build the statue while he's still playing. That would be iconic.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my goodness. That would be the worst juju in the world.
Montreal did that for George St. Pierre.
That would be
when he was
such
still fighting.
a bad. Like, can you think of worse juju and like just bad luck than building a statue for someone while they're still playing and haven't yet won a cup?
It's like Jonathan.
You're not going to win.
It's like
one
you're
then.
building or you build a statue like, and it's like Jonathan Chichu in his first year.
Oof.
And it's just
Oof.
Yeah, he almost reacted as if a statue had been built.
Chichu.
But
I think Kaprizov has already earned himself a statue in St. Paul.
all this said, guys,
Pretty impressive.
we're under the impression right now Kaprizov is staying. We don't know what the number's going to be. We're pretty convinced that's going to be his decision. But there's the doomsday scenarios. If you think that there's a worse scenario than the four we laid out, that's realistic, right? Because again, Edmonton can't afford him, and he's not going to take a big enough discount. He's not going to go to New York because they can't afford him. Like, be realistic. He's not going to go to, a St. Louis Blues because
Why?
if he wants a better
Vegas.
city, like that's
Vegas.
a downgrade from Minneapolis to St. Louis. Just saying.
Yeah, and Minneapolis is cooler than St. Louis.
Oh, it's way cooler. Sorry, Nick. But
Shoot, even St. Paul.
even St. Paul. But we've at least laid it out. Let us know if you think there's other ones. Let us know your rankings in the comments too. We gave the three of ours and they were all a little bit different, but curious to see where the fans land on like what would make your life the most miserable if Kaprizov left.
And let us know how you're digging this flight series on YouTube as well. We'll have a bunch more dropping in the next couple of weeks.
Get out here, count control. You have to try it. I'm making you.
See you Sundays for UVGE.
Peace.
Love.